In previous podcast, you described why an advanced lifter is mistaken if he thinks that the same kind of volume at high intensity, which produced his current strength, is necessary or a good way to produce more strength. You talked about how 700-pound squats for sets across are simply going to beat the piss out of him to no advantage, and this can be a hard lesson to learn. You allude to the same phenomena a few times in practical programming, but it isn't explained in detail. Why is this the case? An intermediate lifter might have a maximum squat of 480, 80% of which is 385. An advanced lifter might have a maximum squat of 870, 80% of which is 700 pounds. I understand that strength gains are diminishing and the curve is asymptotic, but expressed in these relative terms, the situations are the same, so what is different? Well, what is different is the advanced lifter is further along toward the asymptote than the intermediate lifter. You just said it in the statement here. That's why, right? And an advanced lifter with a maximum squat of 870 is capable of applying far, far more stress to his recovery capacity than an intermediate lifter with a max squat of 480. And this is body weight notwithstanding. Let's say they both have the same body weights. Let's say they're 242. Okay? 242 with a 480 squat is not particularly impressive. 242 with an 870 squat is a world-class lifter.
Those are two different strength events that are happening.
Two completely different stress events.
Yeah.
They're absolutely different amounts of stress.
Well, so is the 80% of that number as well.
Yeah, and the 80% of that number for reps is also a different amount
Way
of stress.
different stress.
You cannot comprehend the amount of stress that a 700-pound set of 5 places on the system. We're not just talking about the guy's muscle mass.
Right.
Okay? We're not talking just about his muscle mass, which is highly vascular and recovers faster than all the other shit involved in this. I mean, his tendons are under stress. His bones are under a bunch of stress.
Right.
His brain is under a bunch of stress. All of the hormone systems that support all of that shit is under a giant amount of stress, a level of stress that you cannot understand unless you have worked your way up to advanced. And
at even an 80% offset at those kind of loads, it still would be considered a high intensity stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
it's still like it wouldn't be that way for an intermediate lifter. Definitely wouldn't be that way for a novice.
Our friend Stan Efferding told me last year when he and I were talking about this that he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He's pulling once every 2 weeks, pulling heavy once every 2 weeks, squatting heavy once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Stan's not fucking around.
Right.
You know, sooner or later you come to the conclusion that intensity and volume have to vary inversely. That you have to come to that conclusion. You cannot listen to people who tell you that you have to do 8 sets of 7 with 75%.
With easy weight.
You can't do that. First off, it doesn't make you strong. The 75% doesn't make you strong. And if you pile 56 reps at 75% on top of your recovery capacity, you're fucking up, okay? Now, you don't believe that, you go right ahead and have fun, all right? Have fun with your training. Get that pump. Go for that pump, okay? Because that's what you're doing anyway. You just want to pump. But if strength is if you're an advanced competitor, you already know what I'm talking about, all right? You cannot beat yourself to death with a bunch of tonnage. You can't do it. You can't get recovered. It will stop making you strong if you can't get recovered from it.